If your lavender keeps turning brown, collapsing in the middle, or dying for no apparent reason, the problem may not be insects, disease, or bad luck. In fact, many gardeners are unknowingly killing lavender by giving it exactly what most plants love. Research on Mediterranean plants reveals a simple, inexpensive fix that can dramatically improve survival rates. Before you replace another lavender plant, there are several critical mistakes you need to avoid because one of them may already be happening in your garden. And if you are not subscribed to Smart Gardening yet, do that now and give this video a like so more gardeners can find it. One of the most frustrating things about lavender is that it often looks healthy right up until the moment it starts declining. You may notice a few stems turning brown, a section of the plant thinning out, or the center beginning to die back. Many gardeners immediately assume insects are attacking the plant or that it needs more water. In reality, the opposite is often true. Lavender comes from regions where the soil is rocky, lean, and exceptionally well drained. In its natural environment, water moves through the soil quickly, and roots rarely sit in damp conditions for very long. When lavender is planted in dense clay soil or areas that stay wet after rain, the roots struggle to get the oxygen they need. Over time, this stress weakens the plant and creates conditions that encourage root diseases. Another common mistake is treating lavender like a thirsty flowering annual. Frequent watering can keep the upper soil layers constantly moist. While many garden plants appreciate that, lavender does not. The plant is naturally adapted to periods of dryness and often performs better when the soil is allowed to dry between waterings. What surprises many gardeners is that some of the earliest warning signs appear above ground long before the root problem becomes obvious. And understanding those warning signs can help you save a struggling plant before the damage becomes permanent. Those early warning signs can be easy to miss. A lavender plant may produce fewer flowers than usual, develop pale or yellowing foliage, or begin opening up in the center instead of maintaining its compact shape. Many gardeners respond by adding fertilizer, believing the plant is lacking nutrients. Unfortunately, that often makes the situation worse. Research on lavender production has consistently shown that the plant prefers relatively low fertility conditions. Excess nitrogen encourages rapid, soft growth that may look impressive for a short time, but it reduces the sturdy, woody structure that helps lavender stay healthy over the long term. That lush growth is also more vulnerable to weather stress and disease. Sunlight is another piece of the puzzle. Lavender needs abundant direct sun, ideally 6 to 8 hours or more each day. When nearby shrubs, trees, or larger perennials begin casting shade, the plant often becomes weak and sparse. Poor air circulation can compound the problem by slowing the drying of foliage and soil after rain. This is why two lavender plants growing just a few feet apart can perform completely differently. The healthier one is often benefiting from better drainage, more sunlight, and drier conditions around the crown. And that leads directly to the inexpensive trick many experienced gardeners use to recreate the environment lavender naturally loves. That inexpensive trick is surprisingly simple. A layer of coarse gravel, pea stone, or small crushed rock placed around the base of lavender can make a remarkable difference when drainage is part of the problem. The reason has less to do with feeding the plant and more to do with changing the conditions around the crown and root zone. Unlike organic mulches such as shredded bark or wood chips, gravel does not hold significant moisture against the stem. Organic mulches are excellent for many garden plants, but around lavender, they can trap moisture where the stems meet the soil. That area, known as the crown, is particularly vulnerable to rot. Gravel helps water move away more efficiently while allowing air to circulate around the base of the plant. It also absorbs warmth during the day and releases it gradually, creating conditions that are closer to lavender's native Mediterranean habitat. Commercial lavender growers and botanical gardens frequently rely on excellent drainage as one of their primary strategies for maintaining healthy plants. Of course, simply scattering gravel around a struggling lavender will not solve every problem. If the plant is growing in heavy, waterlogged soil, additional steps may be necessary. The good news is that improving drainage is often easier than many gardeners think, and the next step is where most long-term success begins. If your soil stays wet for days after a rainstorm, the best approach is to improve the planting area itself rather than relying on surface treatments alone. Many successful gardeners grow lavender in raised beds, mounded planting areas, or naturally elevated spots in the landscape. Even a few inches of added height can dramatically improve drainage and reduce the risk of root problems. When planting new lavender, avoid digging an oversized hole and filling it with rich compost. That advice works for some plants, but can create what gardeners sometimes call a bathtub effect in heavy soils. Water collects in the amended planting hole and remains trapped around the roots. Instead, focus on improving drainage across a broader area and choosing a location that receives full sun throughout most of the day. Another important detail is watering technique. Newly planted lavender does need regular moisture while establishing roots. However, once established, deep and infrequent watering is generally far better than frequent light watering. The goal is to encourage roots to grow deeper into the soil rather than remaining near the surface. There's also one maintenance mistake that causes thousands of healthy lavender plants to decline prematurely every year. It usually happens during pruning, and understanding it can add years to the life of your plant. That pruning mistake happens when gardeners cut too deeply into old, woody stems. Lavender is not like many shrubs that readily produce vigorous new growth from bare wood. Once stems become heavily woody, they often have a limited ability to regenerate. If those sections are cut back too aggressively, the plant may struggle to recover or develop large dead areas. The safest approach is to prune lightly and consistently. After flowering, remove the spent flower stalks and trim back a portion of the season's fresh green growth. This helps maintain a compact shape while encouraging new branching. Regular light pruning is usually far more effective than waiting several years and attempting a severe renovation. Pay attention to air movement around the plant as well. Crowded garden beds can trap humidity and slow drying after rain. Lavender generally performs best when it has enough space for air to circulate freely through the foliage. This simple step can reduce stress and lower the likelihood of fungal issues developing over time. If your lavender has already begun declining, don't assume it is beyond saving. In many cases, correcting drainage problems, adjusting watering practices, and improving growing conditions can stop further decline. The next question most gardeners ask is how quickly they should expect to see improvement, and the answer depends on recognizing a few specific signs of recovery. Once growing conditions improve, lavender usually does not recover overnight. Patience is important because the plant needs time to redirect energy into healthy root growth before major changes appear above ground. In many cases, the first positive signs are subtle. You may notice fresh green shoots developing near the tips of stems, stronger new foliage, or a more uniform color across the plant. During the following weeks, healthy lavender often begins producing denser growth and better flower development. If drainage was a primary issue, the plant may gradually stop losing stems and the center may stabilize rather than continuing to open up and die back. These are encouraging indicators that the root system is functioning more effectively. At the same time, it is important to maintain realistic expectations. Severely rotted roots or extensive woody dieback cannot always be reversed. Sometimes the goal is to preserve the healthy portions of the plant and prevent further decline rather than achieving a complete transformation. Even experienced gardeners occasionally replace plants that have suffered extensive damage. The encouraging news is that most lavender problems are preventable. When you understand where lavender comes from and provide conditions that mimic its natural habitat, the plant becomes surprisingly resilient. And that brings us to the most important lesson every lavender grower should remember. The most important lesson is that lavender thrives when gardeners resist the urge to overcare for it. Too much water, overly rich soil, excessive fertilizer, and moisture-retaining mulch are responsible for far more lavender failures than neglect. The healthiest plants are often growing in the simplest conditions: full sun, excellent drainage, modest fertility, and enough space for air to move freely around the foliage. That is why the inexpensive gravel trick works so well for so many gardeners. It helps recreate the dry, rocky environment lavender evolved in over thousands of years. Combined with proper watering and thoughtful planting practices, it can significantly improve the odds of long-term success. The next time you see a lavender plant struggling, take a close look at the soil before reaching for fertilizer or additional water. The real problem is often happening below the surface. By correcting that root zone environment, You can help your lavender grow stronger, flower more reliably, and remain an attractive part of the garden for years to come. If you found this helpful, consider applying these principles to other Mediterranean herbs as well. Plants like rosemary, thyme, and sage often benefit from many of the same growing conditions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next gardening guide.